Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you all doing well and enjoying your day so far on a very interesting day of Call of Duty here on day 2 of the London home series for the start of Stage 3 for CDL 2021. Two very interesting matchups, a lot to run through today, certainly some drama on the timeline as a result of some of these ones. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. And of course, the big news of earlier today, Dallas Empire benching Huke. I'm sure we're going to have to talk about it in more detail tomorrow, but well, Rambo does come out with a clarifying statement adding to this, we at the Dallas Empire make all of our decisions as a team, always have and always will. Every direction we move towards is in effort to give ourselves the best opportunity to win tournaments. So, you know, as I say, we'll talk about that more tomorrow, but lots else to cover in today's video. The first game of the day, Los Angeles Thieves versus Seattle Surge. Very interesting game in the sense that, well, okay, we didn't really know where the two teams standed. Seattle Surge improving a lot, LA Thieves kind of in a little bit of a weird spot where, okay, they played great at the major, making a little bit of a loser's bracket run to top 6, but outside of that, we don't really know, okay, is this team going to continue to improve? What's going on here? The map set certainly was pretty back-end heavy for Los Angeles Thieves. They got a few maps that they really like towards the very end of the series, and they certainly take good advantage of it, as we will get into. Game 1, we finally see an Apocalypse. It's a map that I quite enjoy watching, but I do expect that when Standoff comes in for Stage 4, Apocalypse is probably going to be gone. The pros generally don't very much seem to like it, and well, as I said in the video a few videos ago, they don't really seem to play it very often either. Prestinni comes up massive right at the end of this map. I mean, LA Thieves built out a massive lead, and honestly, that is kind of one of the things that's interesting about this map is it's very possible to make crazy comebacks, right? Because if you get a good rotation from P1 to P2, you can lock down a lot of time. Seattle do that right here. I mean, after the Los Angeles Thieves got the better of them on the first rotation, but this, honestly, this 3-piece from Prestinni was massive down the line because it gave them a big 15 seconds of scrap time, which got them over the line in the end. So fair play to Prestinni getting the job done right here. As Parasite says, P2, P4 Apocalypse, not maybe the most enjoyable things to watch from his perspective. And well, then we go into this game 2. This was honestly a really interesting game 2, and this is where I felt, to be honest, the series was over. Seattle up 4-3. Venom gets a very nice 3-piece. I mean, he shoots a couple of guys in the back, but a 3-piece nonetheless. Gunless takes down one, and now it's a 1 versus 2. It's Venom and Kenny left alive in the 1 versus 2, or at least so well for Gunless to try and finish off the 1 versus 3. And this is the kind of situation you're wondering, okay, Venom, like under pressure, kind of, this is a pressure moment, right? This is a moment where you try not to make mistakes. You don't give Gunless any opportunities. He overpeaks to some degree. I mean, obviously he got weak by a nade, but I'm not really sure why he decided to challenge it when he didn't necessarily have to. As you can see right here, Gunless gets the first kill. He plays his time very well indeed. 50 seconds on the clock. Venom, of course, over here by Briggs, gets naded up, and then, well, manages to take him down with a single headshot. Not really sure why Venom's peeking right there. And then, well, Gunless plays the 1 versus 1 fantastically. Case down Kenny in the end as well. So, okay, 5 versus 3 or 5-3 now to Surge, and then they go on to close out the map as well. So it really felt like, okay, fair play, you know, Seattle Surge, they managed to clutch up massive 1v3 from Gunners, and that's probably going to spell the end of the series. But Los Angeles Thieves do not know when to say die, certainly. It wasn't long ago, I think it was actually at the major, they went down 2-0 to London, they came back and won that series 3-2, and I was wondering whether they could do something similar right here, because I'm pretty sure the casters were saying that Seattle Surge is 0-6 on this map on raid control. I mean, clearly they thought, okay, maybe we're getting better at it, let's give it another go, and there's been a few teams that have done that, right? I mean, LA Thieves, when they had Slasher, they used to play Raid Search and Destroy again and again. They'd constantly get bodied on it, or they'd get a 5-2 comeback on, well, like they did at the first major, I believe, against Los Angeles Guerrillas, but they still were confident that they could play it. And maybe the same will be true for Surge, and they'll get better over time. Now LA Thieves, actually, with this new lineup, seem to be pretty good at Raid Search and Destroy. We'll talk about towards the end of the series. But this was one of the quickest maps you're going to see. I think it was like a 6-minute 53 game, at least according to the scoreboard. Los Angeles Thieves take it down very comfortably, win all the rounds right here, and well, Kenny is gross, says Slack. And even though Kenny did go like 18-8 in the control, it was actually this hard point that Slack was talking about. There was a massive kill that Kenny gets in the end, and this is honestly a great storyline going into this series, the whole Kenny versus Octane stuff, because they've teamed together in the past, 2 great success on 100 Thieves in previous lineups. And here's the gunfight, Kenny versus Octane, now both in the main AR role at the back. Kenny smokes him, and that was such a massive kill to lock down the spawns for the final hard point. And even though the fact that they don't, they don't close out right here on P1, they get the rotation pretty much just because of that kill over to P2. And what a massive win by Kenny, and sends the series to a game 5. And well, what a game 5 it was over on Raid Search and Destroy. Very interesting game 5 once again. The CDL servers seem to be in a questionable spot. I thought this is kind of funny as well, the fact that Venom, like, they've covered up someone's name on his jersey right here, on his hoodie that he's got on, and you know, they've just decided to cover that up without getting him a new one, at least for now. But well, this goes into the game 5 then, and as Tem says pretty entertainingly, Big P, that being Gunless, was holding the flag with a flash, like it was a nuclear weapon. But they go up 3-1 in this map, and then it doesn't go in their favor. There was a game crash, I'm pretty sure CleanX lags out, and Gunless, I think, was on like a 5 streak or something. Their momentum certainly gets halted, right? But still, you're up 3-1, you get the restart from 3-1 in the game 5. You should be able to close that out. It doesn't happen in that way. Los Angeles Thieves complete the reverse sweep. They go up, well, 4-1 right here, you can see in the replay, but Thieves lead the game 5-4 right here, and Drazah with a very nice 1 versus 2 in the final round. Play this honestly to perfection. Does make you think, okay, why was this guy not in the team? Maybe at the start of the season you could have, well, made that case. Certainly, Drazah does a fantastic job right at the end here, and of course, Octane actually had a phenomenal series, but you could argue he made a mistake in a couple of these rounds. I mean, this challenge, I mean, I don't know, it's tough to say. He had to try and get a kill, right, given that Drazah just going to sit back and relax here from top pool and just check the bomb over towards the 8. Had a very difficult one to defuse, but Octane, well, certainly went a bit ham on Twitter as a result of this. You can see the reaction from the guys as well, like, you know, Prestinni, Loony. I mean, getting reverse swept is pretty tough, especially in a series as important as this, because, I mean, their group is absolutely stacked down there in Group B. This was pretty much a must-win series, you could argue, for them to get into the winners bracket of the major. They fall short to another reverse sweep from the Thieves. Very impressive stuff from there. As Gunless says, 3-1 on a 5 streak. CleanX lags out. Wow, that is going to hurt for a bit. GG's to Los Angeles Grillers, or Los Angeles Thieves, of course. Los Angeles Grillers coming up in a few days' time with their new look squad with Chino in the team. And as Octane says, lol, not particularly happy about it. And this discussion as well here from one of the rounds. No way I'm getting tweeted about not clutching a 1 versus 3 and not 2-piecing Ken and TJ for spawns on checkmate. I gotta be Superman to y'all. You joked on checkmate, get turned on lol. His teammate was literally next to him, you smooth brain moron. So, you know, Octane fighting with the Twitter eggs. This is just how it goes. You know, I messed up pushing Zach, that being Drazah in the final round, but I had to chal the 1v1. He had me weak in kitchen, and if he runs into fuses, I can't wrap because he gets to it, so I had to peek. He just played it, well, the close heading instead of the far one, like I thought. So Octane kind of replying to these people, but well, on the other side of things, Najot saying, look, wow, you're a madman, Drazah. What a performance from him. Reverse sweep down 2-0 for, well, the Los Angeles Thieves. Absolutely massive. And well, this was the final series standings. We can see Octane, despite having a 1.31, it seems to be kind of back to someone help Sam, and on the other side, Drazah and Kenny, a phenomenal series over there. So very interesting series, all things considered. And then we get into the final series of the day, much later than expected, because we then get more server drama. I mean, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating, honestly, to be typing stuff in to the BreakingPoint.gg website, the stats and stuff, especially when the search and destroys crash, and you get certain rounds played before and certain rounds played after, and then it's just an absolute nightmare. And that's effectively what we get once again right here. But game number 1 was interesting for different reasons. OpTic go up massive early on, 85-0 against London. It's looking like, okay, they're going to come out with the absolute fryer right here. But then we get down to the end. It's like 240-200. And then the game starts lagging crazy. And then, well, this is from OpTic Chicago's perspective right here. You can see from the guys behind the scenes, they're playing and, well, there's obviously they start recording because, well, you can see the lag on the screen is just immense. They're getting connection interrupted. They're trying to keep their composure right here, which is honestly very impressive to know. I mean, look at the lag on the screen. They're like, okay, guys, let's focus up, because you never really know what the CDL is going to do. You don't know if you're going to get a replay. You don't know if you're just going to get told to keep playing this game out. Not really sure how this stuff even happens. I mean, there was a number of reasons really these last couple of days that you're thinking, okay, wow, we just cannot wait to get back to LAN when these issues aren't really a problem anymore. But they just about, well, I think it's 248-212 right here, and they do decide to go for the replay in the end because it was relatively close. But yeah, still remarkable stuff. I suppose good composure for the guys to technically get over the line. But as Accuracy says, you never win the replay, which has kind of been true throughout Call of Duty history. Not true though this time around. They take the game in a very similar fashion, to be honest. Former goes massive early on. Envoy had some great moments actually. I think he went 31-21 on this map or something to that effect. And despite London having some pretty good comeback moments at times, of course, this is their inaugural series with Zaptius now in the lineup alongside Paul X. So, you know, they certainly looked better. They showed some promise here. But OpTic looking very solid. This is obviously a must-win series for OpTic, given the strength of that group that we did just discuss. And you can see towards the end of this first map, it went in a very similar manner to really how it ended up finishing in the end on the same hard points in pretty much the same scoreline as well. But thankfully for this final hill, no lag this time round, no PowerPoint show, as I'm probably going to put on the thumbnail. And as Sinchai says, this is kind of funny actually going into the search and destroy. There was a massive round that Envoy had early on Moscow. He got like a 3-piece. I played that round, you know, to give the controller back to Envoy now. Sorry guys, just had to take over for that one. And well, then we go later in the map, of course, we get another lag out situation. I'm pretty sure it was Scump who actually dropped this time. And well, he comes straight back into the game and demolishes everyone. Not really sure why the London guys are peeking one by one. Here comes one, flying around the corner. Here comes the trade, flying around the corner. Here comes the trade, flying around the corner. No, well, no trade in sight. Scump takes down all three. And then, well, the final man being Shorty jumps in the window and runs into the line of sight as well. So incredible ace, really. Like, you're just looking at the same angle, killing all four guys flying into your line of sight. Probably one of the, well, the cleanest aces Scump's going to have. Probably one of the easiest ones as well. But certainly a highlight moment. They're up 3-2 after the restart. This, of course, helps them over the line. They win this map 6-4 4 in the end, and another Moscow Search and Destroy goes the way of OpTic. Seems to be a pretty comfortable map for them. Of course, well, things do come down to the wire, certainly, on this map. We know very well indeed what happened at the Major against the Minnesota Rokkr. I'm sure the OpTic fans out there don't necessarily want me to remind you guys of that one. Still an unbelievable moment. I'm sure will go down in Call of Duty history for a long time to come. But then we go into the control, and this was where it got kind of interesting to me, because I was hoping London would at least show some signs of life here, and this really has been paullex's map, because I remember it wasn't too long ago he dropped a 40 bomb on this map. I forget exactly who it was against, but here he goes 28 in 15. I mean, completely dominating OpTic. Early on, it did look like OpTic were actually going to win this game. I mean, they won a nice offense early on. London then won an offense right back, and then it was defenses all the way all out for the rest of the map. And honestly, Checkmate has been pretty entertaining to watch lately, because, well, a few months ago, really, it was at stage 1, let's say, it was known that pretty much everyone was just going to win every defense, but the teams have got much better now at winning offenses, and it's very possible now to actually win offenses on a pretty consistent basis. And going into a round 5, you don't actually know who's going to win anymore, which is, well, very exciting. And of course, the decisions that determine who gets defense in the round 5 is now determined by who caps more points rather than who actually gets more kills, which is also a massive step in the right direction. But paullex's taken over here. They do end up winning the control, but then they go to a final map, and that does not go their way. Despite heroics from Shawnee early on, he went on like an 8 streak or something, got full streaks. But, well, despite, honestly, Raven slaying out massively the early part of that Moscow hardpoint, they couldn't really get a massive lead. And when the OpTic guys started to turn up, I mean, Scump had a very slow start. He was like 7 in 16 at the time. Then he went on like an 8 or 9 streak, got full streaks himself. Envoy took over towards the end, and, well, that was enough for OpTic to get over the line. So they win the series 3-1. As I say, a must-win series for them. They play Seattle in just a couple of days' time, actually, maybe tomorrow night. We'll have a look at the schedule in tomorrow's video. And as Envoy goes right here, 87 in 74. Very impressive stuff indeed. 1.18 KD from him. Honestly, pretty, well, similar slaying all across the board from the OpTic guys. But they get the job done, starting off stage 3 with a W. And, well, obviously, I'm going to say this pretty much for every team, but a massive W indeed. That group, if you guys aren't aware, it's FaZe, the OpTic guys, of course, Los Angeles Thieves, New York Subliners, London, and then the Seattle Surge. Stacked group, only 3 get out to winners. Only one of those teams gets the bye in the winners bracket, which is, well, shown to be pretty valuable so far. And on the London side, not the ideal result for them, but, well, all things considered, given it was their first series of the team, not too bad at all. Just a tough group to find yourself in. But I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. I know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.